So that's why I broke this down before already with the Rastafarianism. You know, like I said, I grew up around that stuff, man. You know, like my family's from so-called Jamaica, and I grew up around people who we knew that was Rastas, you know. But Rastas, man, like I broke it down before. I put that in the comment section below as well, and I did the Bob Marley breakdown. You know how she connected to Rowan Marley. And remember, during that time, before I get into this, remember the baby that she said, remember that when they broke, just to hear the whole thing, how she was, just use simple level, you know, of how they try to tell the narrative of the story. You know, basically she made that album, you know, crying out about Wycliffe, you know what I'm saying? Saying how he's breaking hearts, this and that. But in reality, you know, the whole thing, she's the one that was dealing with Wycliffe when he was married with a wife, you know? And she's saying committing adultery, and she's saying that he's breaking her heart. You know what I'm saying? He's the heartbreaker. And then she tried to pin the child on him that was never his. But, you know, it's symbolic, though, of how they work, because Wycliffe, that just goes into the cliff, the mountaintop, the Wycliffe, the mountaintop. And then when you understand it, it's, remember the baby they had named was Zion. The one that she had with Rowan Marley name is Zion. So, you know, they was just trying to say through Zion. You see that she brings forth Zion because she's the Lauryn Hill. You kind of see what I'm saying? So that's why they had to have that Zion connection with that whole thing that broke up the Fugees. So Zion is what cast those refugees, you know, down. You know, those refugees lose control of the earth, you know, because the fallen angels, once Zion come into fruition, and Messiah are dwelling in Zion, that puts an end to their world. So that's why the whole group had to fall apart after that. And that's why they had to say she went on to become a Rasta, etc. Because when you understand the whole thing with the Rastafarianism, when you got Hail Selassie, which is super, super blasphemous, you know, Hail meaning to praise Selassie. And, you know, Selassie, you know, he comes to Ethiopia. The Messiah he's born in where? He's a Judahite. He's the king of the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. You know, the King of Kings would rise through Judah. And he'll be the chief of chiefs. He'll be the head of the tribes and the head of the whole world. So Selassie, you know, how Selassie is already, you know, Hail Selassie, and how is he the Lion of Judah, the King of Kings, when he's in the grave? But it said the Messiah will be placed in his king's chamber. As it's written in Psalms 19, he come out of his chamber. You kind of see what I mean? Selassie, if he was the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, he'll be in the king's chamber of the altars. You know, to testify to him. As it's written in that day, there should be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord, and it should be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord of hosts, which are a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Christ. The top of the altar is measured at 76 degrees. And the altars in totality stand 5,776 inches. The 5 being for the 5th day, and the first 7 for the 7th month, and then the 76 for the birth year of 1976. So if you have Selassie, he was born, what year was, let's go look at Selassie. He's born 1892, you know, July 23rd. Messiah was going to be born July 5th, 1976. As it's written that the altars testify unto the Lord of the body of hosts. So let's go into Revelation 12 right quick, and let's talk about it. Since they're saying that he's the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars, and she being with child, travailing in birth pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads, 10 horns, 7 crowns upon his head. And the dragon stood before the woman which was delivered for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man